Listen, oh, listen. Sit down. Because the story I'm about to tell you is not just a story. It's a documentary of human laziness at its finest. I'm talking about a man so allergic to work that even his own hands forgot they had fingers. His name was Uncle Boniface, but everybody called him Uncle Bony. And let me tell you something about Uncle Bony. This man elevated laziness to an art form. Now, Uncle Bony had a younger brother named Brother Prosper. Ha! Prosper. That man was something else entirely. While Uncle Bony was busy perfecting his sleeping technique, Prosper was out there in the streets of Lagos fighting for success like a gladiator. This man owned 4 shops in Balogun Market, had a taxi business with 6 cars, owned 3 houses he was renting out, and rumors said he was even selling frozen fish on the side. The man was a moving train of hustle. But Uncle Bony, that one woke up at 12 noon every day. And I'm not exaggerating, no, 12 noon. And when he woke up, he would stretch like a python that just swallowed a goat. Yawn so wide, you could see what he ate in 1987. And then shuffle to the bathroom, where he would sit for 1 hour reading old newspaper from 2003, claiming he was catching up on world events. After this important morning ritual, Uncle Bony would dress up in his signature outfit, a green shirt that had seen 3 presidents come and go, and a wrapper tied around his waist like he was going to perform a traditional ceremony. Then he will announce to his wife, "My dear wife, I'm going out to network with important stakeholders in the community." And where was this important networking happening? At Papa Sule's joint, a local bar hidden behind the vulcanizer's workshop where dreams went to die and men went to tell lies about their achievements. Uncle Bony had a master plan, you see. He looked at his younger brother Prosper making all that money, and something clicked in his head. He thought, why should I kill myself working when God has already blessed me with a rich brother? Prosper's bank account is family property. This is what the white man calls strategic partnership. So Uncle Bony launched Operation Export the Children. Uncle Bony had 5 children: Amaka, Tonde, Zainab, Emeka, and baby Chiamaka. Beautiful children, smart children, children who deserved a father with at least 10% sense. And what did Uncle Bony do? Every single holiday, Christmas, Salah, Easter, New Year, Independence Day, his cousin's birthday, even Workers' Day, he would pack those children like sardines and ship them to Brother Prosper's house in Victoria Island. "Prosper, my beloved brother," Uncle Bony would call, his voice sweeter than Ribena. The children have been crying, no? They miss their Uncle Prosper. They say they cannot sleep. They are not eating. One of them even fainted yesterday from missing you too much. Complete lies. The children were perfectly fine. One of them was actually outside playing football when Uncle Bony was making this call. And Prosper, that soft-hearted man, some people would say too soft-hearted, would sigh and say, "Okay, bring them." Those children lived at Prosper's house from age 4. They knew Prosper's house better than their own father's house. Maka had her own bedroom with a study desk. Tunde knew the Wi-Fi password before he knew the national anthem. Zainab thought Prosper was her real father, and Uncle Bony was just that uncle who smells like palm wine and visits sometimes. Prosper would feed them, clothe them, pay their school fees, buy them Christmas gifts, take them to the beach, even took them to Ghana one time for holiday. Meanwhile, Uncle Bony was where? Let me paint you a picture. Uncle Bony will arrive at Papa Sule's joint at exactly 12:47 p.m. because anything earlier was too early for a man of his status. He will sit under the big mango tree with his fellow consultants, Papa Remy, who claimed he was waiting for his Dubai visa to come through. That visa had been processing since Goodluck Jonathan was president. Olaji Mustafa, who said he was retired. Retired from what? We are still investigating. And Brother Jide, who was in between major contracts. The contracts went on sabbatical and never returned. These men will sit there drinking palm wine, ogoro, and sometimes hot drink mixed with Sprite. Don't ask me why. Analyzing Nigeria's problems like they were personal advisors to the president.
You see, Uncle Bony would say, swelling his cup of palm wine like he was in a French wine tasting session. The problem with this country is that they don't value thinkers. They only celebrate workers. But who provides the vision? Who provides the strategy? People like us. We are the brains. Let the young ones do the running. We supervise from the top. Exactly. Papa Remy will shout, slamming the table. My brother Prosper, for example. That boy is successful because of my prayers. Every morning I pray for him. His success is our family's success. When he buys a car, we have bought a car. The other men would nod like Uncle Bony had just solved world hunger. But wait, there's more to this story. Uncle Bony was married to a woman called Chidinma, or as everybody called her, Mama Maka. Now, Chidinma was what we call in Igbo, Nwanyi Siri Nke, a woman of steel. When she married Uncle Bony, she had dreams. She thought maybe, just maybe, this man would at least try small. But after their first anniversary, when she discovered her husband's idea of going to look for work was walking to the bar instead of taking a keke, she knew she was in trouble.
Every single morning, Chidinma would wake up at 4 a.m., 4 o'clock in the morning. She would go to the market to buy groundnuts, which she would roast and sell by the roadside. Rain or shine, Monday to Monday, this woman was hustling. Meanwhile, her husband was at home practicing for the World Sleeping Championship. One day, I remember this day like it was yesterday because the whole compound heard the drama. Chidinma had enough. She marched into the bedroom where Uncle Bony was sleeping at 1:30 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon, yanked the blanket off him with the force of 1,000 ancestors, and screamed, "Boniface, wake up this minute!" Uncle Bony jumped up like someone who saw a ghost. What happened? Is it fire? Is it flood? Did Nigeria qualify for World Cup? Worse than all of those, she shouted, her voice shaking the windows. Your life is wasting. Do you know what time it is? Do you? It's 1:30 p.m. 1:30 on a Wednesday. The whole world is working and you are here sleeping like you're on annual leave from a job you don't even have. Uncle Bony rubbed his eyes, looking confused. But Chidinma, you know I was up late last night thinking about business strategies. Business strategies! Chidinma's eyes were so wide you could see her ancestors looking through them. The only business strategy you know is how to strategically avoid work. Do you know where your children are right now? At school? At Prosper's house. They have been living at Prosper's house for 6 months. 6 months, Boniface. Your own brother is raising your children while you are here sleeping and drinking your life away? Uncle Bony sat up, looking deeply offended like someone accused him of stealing yam. Chidinma, why are you shouting at me like this? Have you forgotten that Prosper is my brother, blood of my blood? What belongs to him belongs to me. This is African culture. This is Ubuntu. I am because we are. His success is my success. We have an understanding. Chidinma stared at him. She stared at this man like she was seeing him for the first time. This man who could create excuses faster than MTN could create new tariff plans. Understanding, she repeated slowly. The understanding where he walks and you sleep. That understanding. Exactly, Uncle Bony said, completely missing the sarcasm like it was a boss he wasn't trying to catch. You see, you're finally getting it. Prosper handles the physical work. I handle the spiritual and emotional support. It's called division of labor. Even the Bible says different parts of the body have different functions. Chidinma looked at him for 5 full seconds without blinking. Then she said, very quietly, too quietly, Boniface, continue with your divisions and your strategies. Me, I will continue with my plans. As she turned and walked out, Uncle Bony shrugged, lay back down and went back to sleep. But something had changed in Chidinma that day. Something had shifted. That evening, she made a decision. She wrapped her best headscarf, put on her good dress, and went to Brother Prosper's house. Brother Prosper, she said, sitting in his beautiful parlor with air conditioning that actually worked, unlike the one at home that made noise like a tractor but produced air like a dying person's last breath. I need to talk to you, and I'm very ashamed to be here. Prosper, who was a kind man, maybe too kind for his own good, said, "Mama Maka, what is wrong? Are the children okay?" "The children are fine. They are always fine because you take care of them. But me, Brother Prosper, I am not fine." She took a deep breath. "My husband has decided that work is his enemy. I have tried everything. I have begged, I have cried, I have shouted, I have even fasted for 3 days asking God to change him. But nothing works. That man wakes up and goes straight to Papa Sule's joint. He comes back home drunk, sleeps, wakes up and repeats the same thing. Meanwhile, I am selling groundnuts by the roadside, sweating under the sun, fighting with customers, dodging area boys, just to make sure there is at least Gary in the house." Tears started rolling down her face. "Brother Prosper, I want to do better. I have been watching the women in the market, the successful ones. I have been learning. I know that if I can get capital to buy things in bulk, rice, beans, oil, Gary, I can sell to smaller retailers and make profit. But I don't have money. I have saved small, but it's not enough. I'm not asking for free money. I will pay you back, I promise, even if it takes me 10 years. How much do you need? If you can give me 80,000 naira, I'll give you 150,000 naira. Chidinma's mouth fell open so wide a fly could have flown in and built a house. "Brother Prosper, listen to me, Mama Maka. Use 100,000 for the business. Use 50,000 for anything else you need. Maybe fix that air conditioner at home. Buy yourself some new clothes, anything. And you don't owe me anything. Just promise me one thing. Don't give my brother even 1 naira of this money, not 1 kobo. This money is for you to build your future. Do you hear me?" Chidinma broke down crying. She cried tears that had been stored in her heart for years. Tears of frustration, exhaustion, disappointment, but now, tears of hope. Meanwhile, back at Papa Sule's joint, Uncle Bony heard the news through the famous Nigerian gossip network. Faster than 5G, more reliable than PHCN. You know what Uncle Bony did? He smiled. He smiled like someone who just won a lottery. He announced to everyone at the bar, you see what I'm talking about. This is strategic family networking. Now even my wife is accessing the family resources. I have been telling her for years, Prosper's money is our money. And finally, she has listened to wisdom. Papa Sule, bring another round. Today we celebrate the success of my strategy. The man actually thought he had won. Oh, Uncle Bony, Uncle Bony, Uncle Bony, Uncle Bony. But watch what happened next, because this is where the story becomes sweet. Chidinma took that 150,000 naira and she disappeared into her business like a soldier going to war. And I don't mean she disappeared small, I mean she became a ghost. She would wake up at 2:30 a.m. Not 3, not 4, 2:30 in the morning to meet the big suppliers at Mile 12 Market before other people even woke up to brush their teeth. She bought rice in 50 kg bags, beans, gari, palm oil, groundnut oil, everything in bulk. She learned how to negotiate like her life depended on it, because it did. She would argue with suppliers until they reduced prices. She would check every single grain of rice to make sure quality was correct. Within 3 weeks, she had made 23,000 naira profits. Within 2 months, 58,000 naira. Within 4 months, she had rented a small shop in the market. Within 8 months, that shop was booming. People were coming from different parts of Lagos just to buy from Madam Chidinma because her prices were fair, her measures were correct, and she never cheated anybody. Within 1 year, she had 3 shops. Within 2 years, she had bought a small plot of land. Within 3 years, she had started building her own house.
And Uncle Bony? Where was Uncle Bony during all this success? That man was still at Papa Sule's joint, now telling people, you see my wife, I mentored her. I give her the business vision. I taught her everything she knows. Behind every successful woman is a man who provided the foundation. I am that man. In fact, I am thinking of writing a book, How to Raise a Successful Wife in 7 Easy Steps. The audacity, the sheer unbelievable audacity of this man. But, as our people say, every day for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. And Uncle Bony's day was coming. Now, there was a woman in the compound called Auntie Kelechi. We called her CNN because this woman knew everything about everybody before it even happened. If you were thinking about sneezing tomorrow, Auntie Kelechi would come today and ask if you had taken vitamin C. One day, Auntie Kelechi cornered Brother Prosper at the community borehole. Prosper, she whispered, looking around like a spy in a James Bond movie. I need to tell you something as your elder, and you must listen to me very well. Prosper sighed. He knew that whatever Auntie Kelechi was about to tell him would be around the compound by evening, broadcasted on WhatsApp, Facebook, and smoke signals. What is it, Auntie? Your brother Boniface. She paused for dramatic effect. Auntie Kelechi loved drama. That man is using you like Airtel data. He has been using you since 1999. Everybody in this compound is laughing at you behind your back. They call you Mugu number 1. They say Bony is smart and you are the fool.
Prosper felt something twist in his chest. Auntie Kelechi, Boniface is my blood brother. Blood brother? Auntie Kelechi's voice went up 3 octaves. Judas was Jesus' disciple. Blood doesn't mean loyalty. That man has turned you into a standing ATM machine. His children are your children. His responsibilities are your expenses. His comfort is your headache. When will you wake up? That night, Prosper couldn't sleep. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking. He calculated in his head 22 years of school fees, feeding, clothing, emergencies, just this once, I'll pay you back, small something for the children. He calculated and the number made him dizzy. The next morning, Prosper made a decision. He called Uncle Bony. Boniface, come to my house tomorrow. We need to talk, seriously. Uncle Bony arrived the next day wearing his special occasion outfit, which was just slightly less tragic than his everyday outfit. He was smiling because he thought Prosper wanted to give him money for some business opportunity he had invented that morning. Prosper, my brother from another mother. Well, same mother, but you understand. How is business? How is life? How is... Sit down, Boniface. Something in Prosper's voice made Uncle Bony's smile freeze on his face like broken air conditioner. Boniface, I love you. You are my blood. Our mother carried both of us in her womb. Well, not at the same time, but you understand. But I need to tell you something and I need you to listen. Not just hear, but listen. Okay, Uncle Bony said slowly. His smile completely gone now. For 22 years, I have carried you on my back. I have fed your children like they are mine. I have paid their school fees, bought them clothes, taken them on holidays, bought them Christmas gifts. I have given you money whenever you called. Sometimes I gave you money even when you didn't call because I knew you needed it. I did all this because I thought I was helping you. I thought I was being a good brother. Uncle Bony started to relax. Yes, and you are a good brother, the best brother. That's what I always tell people. But yesterday, Prosper continued, Auntie Kelechi said something that hit me like a thunderbolt. She said, I have not been helping you. I have been destroying you. Destroying? Uncle Bony jumped up. How can helping be destroying? Prosper, what kind of drama is... Sit down. Prosper's voice was so sharp that Uncle Bony sat immediately like a school child. By making everything easy for you, I made it impossible for you to grow. I made it so comfortable for you to do nothing that you forgot how to do something. You are 55 years old, Boniface, 55. And what do you have? Nothing. No job, no business, no savings, no property, no plan. If I die tomorrow, what will you do? If I lose my business tomorrow, what will you do? Why are you talking about dying and losing business? Are you sick? Do you need money? I can help you strategize. There is no strategy, Prosper shouted, and it was the first time Uncle Bony had ever heard his younger brother shout. There has never been a strategy. There has only been you taking and taking and taking while I give and give and give. And I allowed it. I allowed it because I thought family means sacrifice. But family doesn't mean one person sacrificing while the other person is sacrificing nothing. The room was so silent you could hear a pin drop in the next compound. From today, Prosper said, his voice calm again, but hard like iron, I will not give you money anymore. Not one kobo. Your children can stay here. I love them like my own blood, and what I've invested in them, I don't regret. But you need to stand up. You need to find your own 2 feet. You need to remember that you are a man, not a baby.
Uncle Bony's face went through every emotion known to humanity. Shock, disbelief, confusion, anger, rage, and finally, fury. After everything, he screamed, standing up so fast his chair fell backward. After all these years of brotherhood, after I protected you in secondary school, after I introduced you to your first business contacts, You did nothing, Boniface, Prosper said, quietly. And somehow the quietness was more powerful than shouting. You have done nothing but take, and I let you because I loved you. But love without boundaries is not love, it's enablement, and I'm done enabling you. Uncle Bony stood there, breathing heavily like someone who had just run a marathon, even though the most exercise he had done in 10 years was walking to Papa Sule's joint. Then he pointed his finger at Prosper, his hand shaking. You will regret this. You will see. When you need me, when you need family, you will remember this day. Your own blood brother. And he stormed out of that house like a Nollywood actor in the season finale. He went straight to Papa Sule's joint, even though it was only 9 a.m. and the place wasn't even officially open yet. Papa Sule was still sweeping when Uncle Bony burst in. Papa Sule, give me drink, strong drink, the strongest drink you have. And Uncle Bony proceeded to tell everyone within hearing distance, which was basically the whole neighborhood because he was shouting, about how his wicked younger brother had betrayed him. Can you imagine? That small boy, that boy that I raised, that boy whose nappies I used to change when he was a baby. This was a lie. Uncle Bony had never changed a single nappy in his entire life, including his own nappies. He has now grown wings and wants to fly. He has forgotten his roots. He has forgotten who made him. Without me, he would be nothing. Papa Remy, Brother Jide, and Halaji Mustafa all nodded sympathetically, mainly because they hoped Uncle Bony still had money to buy the next round. But here is where the story becomes very interesting.
Without Brother Prosper's money, Uncle Bony had nothing. Zero. Nada. His bank account was crying. His pockets were holding prayer meetings. His wallet was on life support. He tried going to his wife for money. Chidinma, my dear wife, give me 5,000 naira small. Chidinma, who was busy counting money from her shop sales, didn't even look up. For what?
for transport. I need to go and see someone about a business opportunity. Which business opportunity? The same business opportunity you've been seeing someone about since 2011? No, I'm not giving you my hard-earned money to go and pour it down your throat at Papa Sule's joint. Uncle Bony stood there with his mouth open like a fish. Chidinma, are you talking to me like this? Your husband? Chidinma finally looked up at him, and Uncle Bony saw something in her eyes he had never seen before. Zero fear. Yes, I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to you with sense. For 23 years, I have begged you to walk. I have cried, I have prayed, I have suffered. I sowed groundnuts under the sun while you drank under the shade. I built a business from nothing while you built a friendship with every bar owner in Lagos. Now you want to come and collect my money to waste? Never. Not in this life, not in the next life, not even in the life after that. Uncle Bony was shocked. When did his wife grow a backbone made of steel?
He tried calling his relatives. His cousin Emeka's phone was switched off. His uncle's number was not reachable. His sister suddenly had network problems every time he called. He tried going to his friends at the bar, but friends at the bar are only friends when you can buy drinks. The moment Uncle Bony stopped buying, they scattered like cockroaches when light comes on. Even Mama Sule, Papa Sule's wife, who ran the bar, blocked him at the entrance one day. Uncle Bony, you cannot enter here today. What? Why? This is public place. Public place, yes, but you owe us 43,000 naira for drinks you've been collecting on credit. Until you pay, you cannot enter. Uncle Bony nearly fainted. And just like that, his entire social life collapsed like a house built with cards. Years passed, not small years, years. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Chidinma's business continued to explode. She now had 9 shops across Lagos and Ogun State. She had built a beautiful house, 3 bedrooms, all en suite, with a compound, a gate, and flowers in the garden. She bought herself a small car, nothing too flashy, but it was hers. She was now the vice president of the Market Women Association. People called her Madam Chidinma with respect in their voices. Her children all grew up and became successful thanks to Uncle Prosper's early investment and their mother's example. Maka became a medical doctor working in a big hospital in Abuja. Tunde became an engineer working for an oil company. Zainab became a banker. Emeka was a pilot. Yes, a pilot. And little Chiamaka was studying law at the University of Lagos. All of them bought gifts for their mother. All of them sent her money every month. All of them were grateful for her struggle. And their father, Uncle Bony, my brothers and sisters, this is where the story becomes painful. Because life, when it catches up with you, it doesn't catch up gently. It catches up like a trailer with filled bricks.
Uncle Bony aged terribly. Years of drinking caught up with him. Years of doing nothing caught up with him. His body, which had spent 60-something years avoiding any form of useful activity, began to shut down. His liver was complaining. His kidneys were on strike. His legs could barely carry him. His drinking friends either died or moved away or simply forgot he existed. One day, Auntie Kelechi was walking through Balogun Market when she saw someone sitting on the ground near the entrance, begging. The person looked so rough, so worn down, so finished that she almost walked past. But something made her look closer. Uncle Boniface? Uncle Bony looked up with eyes that had seen too much suffering. His clothes were rags. His body was thin, like someone who hadn't eaten proper food in months. He looked like life had chewed him up, spat him out, and then stepped on him.
Auntie Kelechi, his voice was weak. You have small change. Auntie Kelechi, for the first time in her life, had no words. This woman who talked more than a radio station was completely silent. Uncle Bony, what happened to you? Where is your wife? Where is your brother? Uncle Bony laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. It was the laugh of a man who has lost everything and found humor in his own tragedy. My wife, he coughed. My wife tried to help me. For years she tried, but I was too proud, too stubborn, too stupid to see that she was my blessing. She left me when she realized I would drag her down with me. I don't blame her. And your brother? Prosper. Uncle Bony's eyes filled with tears. Prosper tried to save me by cutting me off, but I was too foolish to understand. I thought he was wicked, but he was the only person who loved me enough to tell me the truth, and I threw it in his face. But Uncle Bony, you can still walk. You can still try. It's not too late.
Uncle Bony shook his head slowly. Auntie, I am 68 years old. I have never worked a single day in my entire life. I don't even know what work looks like. Who will employ me? For what? To do what? I spent my whole life being allergic to work, and now he spread his hands. Now work is allergic to me. Nobody wants me, not even to sweep floor. Auntie Kelechi gave him 2,000 naira and walked away with tears in her eyes. That evening, she went to Chidinma's big house and told her what she had seen. Chidinma was quiet for a long time. Then she said, I know where he is. I send him money sometimes through people. I make sure he eats at least once a day. But I cannot save him, Auntie Kelechi. I learned that lesson after 23 years. You cannot save someone who doesn't want to save themselves. Do you still love him? She thought about it. I loved the man I thought he would become. But that man never existed. What I married was a dream that refused to wake up. So I woke up instead. Do you regret marrying him? Every single day, Chidinma said honestly. But I don't regret leaving him. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from someone you love, because staying would have killed me. And then who would have raised those children? Who would have built this business? Who would have shown my daughters that they don't need a man to succeed? Auntie Kelechi nodded. There was wisdom in pain. 3 years later, Uncle Bony died. He died in a small room somewhere in Mushin, lying on a mat, alone. A neighbor found him 3 days later.
The funeral was sad. Not many people came. Brother Prosper came. He cried, but there were tears of grief mixed with regret. Chidinma came with all 5 children, all dressed in expensive clothes, all successful, all alive and thriving. Auntie Kelechi came. A few people from the old compound came. As they lowered the coffin into the ground, Pastor Emmanuel, who was conducting the service, said, "We gather here today to bury Brother Boniface, and as we bury him, let us also bury the idea that someone else's success can be our own. Let us bury the idea that laziness is cleverness. Let us bury the idea that we can build a life on another person's foundation." Uncle Boniface's life is a lesson, a painful lesson, but a lesson nonetheless. After the burial, as people were leaving, young Maka, the lawyer, asked her mother, "Mama, do you think he could have been different?" Chidinma looked at her daughter, this brilliant, successful young woman who had learned from her father's mistakes. "Yes," she said, "your father could have been anything he wanted to be. He was not stupid. He was not disabled. He just never believed in himself. And because he never believed in himself, he believed in everyone else. He believed his brother would save him forever. He believed money would fall from the sky. He believed that somehow life would just work out without him working. That was his tragedy. Brother Prosper overheard this. He walked over and added, "I loved my brother, but I learned too late that giving someone everything is the same as giving them nothing, because you rob them of the chance to become who they were meant to be."
Thank you for listening to the end. We'd love to read your comments. Bye!